Hi, this is Amanda Giammona, and I'm just going to go through my presentation on the influence of the environment on students. I will mainly be focusing on my reflection, which you can see here is at the very end of the presentation, just because that focuses more on what I plan to use in my future classroom with the future school, community, students, families that I work with. But just to get us started off, I'm going to go through each of the three systems that we were looking at. So starting off with the classroom, these were just some data source and findings. Some key themes that I'll go more in depth to is cultural responsiveness, family engagement in the classroom, student belonging and safety, and academic growth and equity. So our first theme is cultural responsiveness. My school that I'm at right now is Indian Bend Elementary, and they are based in the Phoenix, Scottsdale area. They're kind of right on the border there. But they are 55% Hispanic and Latino, and they really strive on bilingual instruction, diverse reading materials. There's a lot of ELL students in the classroom, so we really focus on, bringing that bilingual part to light in the classroom. Another thing at this school is family engagement. They do like to send newsletters and have a bunch of family events at the school. They have their class dojo, which is one thing we'll talk about later as well, and parent workshops that they host throughout the year to help those students, students and their families become more in touch with the school. We have the student belonging and safety. This one kind of speaks for itself. The teachers, managing the conflict in the classroom, using their relationships to make sure everyone is safe, feels like they belong at the school, all of that stuff. Academic growth and equity. This school is Title I, and it's falling a little behind on their reading and math scores. So they're really working on the small group interventions and working on the additional support that these kids need to get those scores up. These are just a little more resources and some more analysis of what I just went into. Next, talking about the school, just the culture and values itself. They go by the SOAR and Be Kind initiatives. It's part of their PBIS system. And it just encourages the students to be respectful, show empathy, be kind to not only the students, but the teachers as well. It rewards the really good behavior with what they call SOAR cards. So it gets the students, wanting to be those good Samaritans, essentially. Again, like I was talking about with the ELL services, there's also a gifted program. I know in my classroom that I am interning at right now, a lot of my kids go to a gifted section for math and science. So really making sure that's inclusive, extracurricular with STEAM. Like I said, those gifted programs, a bunch of clubs that they can do. A lot of opportunity for the staff to collaborate with each other. There's a really good mentoring program that is set in place, especially with grade level teams and, the veteran teachers and the newer teachers. I've been seeing a lot of really great collaboration. Community kind of is the same as I've just been talking about with family involvement. This is more on the safe area that it's in. The cultural diversity and inclusion, again, it's more kind of just under the same overarching theme. Analysis, this is my really long, each system, go into it. My response, which I will go back into if we have time, but this is what I really want to talk about, is the reflection, as what I found after doing this research for the 4 weeks that we've been doing it. Students do engage more when their culture is shown or their families are involved and they're able to collaborate and it's diverse. That is where students truly, truly learn and care about learning. So this leads me into my more professional development goals. And I know I want to at least, I say dedicate 30 minutes each week to learning more about it, to reading more about it, and being able to truly understand how to be culturally responsive in my teaching. One thing I want to focus on, the like classroom domain, the one culturally responsive strategy per month. I think with independent reading, read alouds in class or projects, I feel like that is very important, as like it says on here, like student engagement from those things. And even if it's not someone's culture, they can learn from it, which I think is always very important. My core values: equity, empathy, curiosity, and integrity. I want to listen to students and families. I want to be culturally responsive and reflective in everything. I want to make my students feel welcome and safe, and the families of them as well. It's just me personally in my classroom. I want to uphold that really good relationship throughout my time as an educator. No matter what the student says or what the family does, they're always welcome. They're always loved in my classroom. These are just some more strategies, co-creating lessons with students and families, maybe inviting them to share a little bit about their culture in the classroom, hosting things with families, getting myself a mentor that has different experience than me so that I'm able to learn from a different kind of culture. So really just broadening the spectrum and really stepping into that, looking from an outside perspective of something I might not know and learning from it to be able to put it in my classroom and implement those things. And then those are just my resources for the pictures I've used. Thank you so much. This was my presentation, and I hope you learned just as much as I did.